Fighters, how are we doing? Now, should you waterload or should you not waterload? Now, I get this question coming to me quite a lot, and that's why I made a video about it. And to be quite honest with you, the answer is actually yes and no. Now, hear me out on this, right? So, what I tend to notice is with fighters that I work with, and the way that water loading protocols work is you will get fighters who will adapt and respond better to this than other fighters will. So let's say, for example, when I've worked with a large boxer or a large MMA fighter, let's say, for example, 85 kilograms, right? So, cruiserweight boxer or whatever, right? Normally, a fighter who is holding more water retention, a bigger guy, big muscle mass, etc., has got that more muscle and water attached to it, will respond better to a water load better than, let's say, for example, like a bantamweight boxer or, like a MMA, Muay Thai fighter, fighter who weighs 58, 60 kilograms. Now, what you've got to understand is that when you're actually doing a weight cut on fight week, we're actually trying to manipulate total body water. That's correct. But the way we actually can do this in majority is through diet and obviously dehydration, short-term, acute dehydration techniques. But in terms of actually making changes to your diet, lowering your fibre, right, that's going to get rid of undigested food and water retention in your digestive tract. That's going to be a really good way to get rid of any water, right? What you can also do is obviously lower your carbs, get rid of glycogen, muscle glycogen and liver glycogen, which has water molecules attached to it, so that's going to get rid of some more weight. You can lower your sodium and your salt intake, wherever sodium goes, water tends to follow it, so you get rid of all that, and then that's going to pull more water off you. And then, essentially making sure that your meals are low in volume. So that is typically the way you would want to do it. But what you can do is, if you really are, a believer in water loading, or you want to test and see if it works for your body, what I could suggest you do is during a fight camp, or let's say, for example, you have like an MMA interclub where you don't really need to worry too much about your weight stalling or, making weight, for example, like a practice tournament. Just try it like that. I recommend you go for 75 millilitres per kilogram of body weight. You could do 60 mil, which is a little bit lower, or you could even do 100 mils. So you do that for 3 days, and then the last day before the, let's say, make-believe weigh-in, you'd go to a fluid restriction to 15 millilitres per kilogram of body weight. And that's the only way to find out. Try it for a competition where there's not too much at stake. You don't have to make weight, or you're not going to lose any purse if you miss weight, and then you'll get your answer from there. Hope this is out, guys.